Hi everybody, this is my home. I have been living in Asia for 6 years. If you look in Southeast Asia there, you see Laos, that palm tree shaped country right there. Laos is one of the poorest countries in the world and the poorest country in Southeast Asia, also the only landlocked country in Southeast Asia. I live in the capital, Vientiane, and I teach at Vientiane International School. And as you can imagine, with a underdeveloped country, they don't have many funds to put into local library resources, and so I was a bit skeptical when I first stepped up to the National Library. But this is what I found. Number one, right on the side of the building, is this promising sign. But I went inside, and this is what they showed me. I see my music appreciation book from college, or what my friends took, Music Appreciation, and also Groton Velasquez's History of Western Music, as well as just a few other things. Not much. And so they laid me down this one corridor where they have neatly stacked books against the wall, and told me to go upstairs. And that's where I met BUMU. BUMU is the music librarian in charge of the National Archives that I saw the sign for. A few years ago, the German government sponsored some research into Lao music and preservation of their culture, and they have some good documentation there, as well as a few other books, including one of the Vietnamese musicology review. One copy from whenever it was. So I knew I needed more. So naturally I went to the French. The French Cultural Center, sponsored by the French Embassy in town, has a library, but you can imagine all the books are in, yeah, you guessed it, they're in French. But the music is not in French. They have some good recordings, some classical music recordings for me to borrow and to use in my research. So I decided to drive out 15 miles to the one place I knew I didn't want to go, but that was to the National University. I had some friends who teach out here, and I hear that the conditions are not great, so I knew to not expect too much. And so I went to found the library eventually, and was fairly impressed with what I found for this research library in Laos. They had some education research journals, but not many, but they do have an online resource where it's connected to a European Union journal database, which they are able to use for free. Thus I concluded my search of local library resources in Vientiane. I also have my school library, which the best resource there is the librarian, and I also have my local library back home who is willing to help me and help work with me back in Duncanville, Texas. And so, if you start feeling discouraged about not being able to find things, well then just consider this.